Morning everyone. So she's a bit windy today. We're only meant to be having a 10 knot right now, but it's pretty much 15 to 20, but you get that. So today we are out and we are going to do some whole prawns. So we've got a stack of them brought along with us today. We just got to put them through their paces, something I don't throw a lot of, but you know what, today's the day. Let's get into it. Let's see how we go. So what we've done is we've ran up around the corner. It's a little bit better on the wind here. The plan is we're going to fish this edge here. We've got all this water wraps around, tucks in here, just forms these nice little eddies. Caught flathead here before, done an exploratory mission, but that's sort of the plan. Is we're going to fish this bank, see how we go. A lot of bait flickering just here, eh? I think this is where the rock is. Oh, there's a hit on the ball. There we go. Oh, this feels alright. I think it's a little bream. Oh no? What do we got here? Look at it. I think we got a flatty. There we go. First fish in the holty for the day, little flatty. So, no, nothing too big, but it's alright. Okay, throw it off. Still good to go for another fish too, which is always good to see. So he's only a there you go, first fish, little Holt prawn. So back he goes. Looking at the sounder, I'm on the rocks just sitting here, which is good. It seems to be in this little region here. I can see it on side scan. Not saying to look for rock bars to look for flathead, but I'm just saying it's a bit of structure here. It's mainly just this sort of straight with not much going on except for that rock. So, ooh, there we go. What's this? Oh, it's a better one. It's a much better one. So, much better fish. Much better quality of fish. Ooh. Actually a really good fish too. Nope, almost. There you go. Actually really decent flathead. So here we go on the whole prawn. Prawn is, the lead is very shredded, but prawn's still good. So we'll get him on the brag mat and let's have a bit of a look at him, should we? There you go. Just mid. So as you can see, it works. I said I normally don't throw much of it, but today figured let's put it through its paces and see how it goes. So that's it in the saltwater yummy. That is the 1620 fish you just seen. What a nice flatty. So we've got 55. There's a couple down there so we're just going to put him in the live well for now. We'll keep casting, see if we get some more. There we go. Oh, flatty. Doesn't feel too big. Oh. No, pull the hooks. It's alright. 2 landed, 1 lost. He was just sitting out here more, out towards the middle. Actually see he kicked up some dust through there. Somewhat surprising. I expected them to be more over on the edges, but yeah, he didn't feel too big. There's a lot of bait and fish moving through this channel. I said earlier, 1.6 was probably a bit big for this. I probably should have been running a 1.8, but we've got the 1.6 on. It's working. We've caught 2 flathead, lost 1. So we definitely found the zone that they want to be in. We'll try one straight down the middle. That's what we haven't tried yet. As you can see, there's a nice, that southeast is more swinging towards the westerly now, southwest. But we got a bit of protection from these mangroves. Well, it was either this or I was going to sit out and fight the 15 to 20 southerly head on and cast it banks, and I don't think that would have been enjoyable for anyone at all. Oh, there we go. Got him. Straight through the middle. What have we got? Feels like another flatty. Yep, another nice sized flatty. Oh, lost him. It's alright. He wasn't bad at all. Whole prawn's still holding up, so that is now 3 fish. Still going. That fish would have been about 50-ish, I reckon. So we'll punch another one straight up the middle. Fortunately, I don't think the hook got him. There we go. Another one. Just as that was hopping up off, he engulfed this. There you go, another flatty on it. This one's not too bad. He's about, go low 40s. Definitely go low 40s. He's just going straight down the gobber. So as you can see, he hasn't missed this one. It is proper down there, straight down that gob of his. Pin him right in the side there. You know what? That's probably still good for another fish too. I munted the head a little bit to getting that off, but the rest of it's pretty sweet. Leader is very, very rasped up. But we'll chuck this guy in the live well with the other one. They didn't want that flathead. Those people, had a quick chat to them. They're powered off, they're doing their own thing. So yeah, we'll chuck this guy in the live well for now. Throw him in there with his bigger buddy. As you can see, he's just sitting in there, pretty happy. So, something interesting I've sort of figured in this spot since we've been here now is around this section here. So this crab pot up to sort of that bird is where we're getting all the action. As we pushed up further, hits died off, everything sort of died off, not much was happening. So we came back down here, things picked up. Now there is an old oyster lease here. Well, I assume it's an oyster lease, right? There's a heap of like gravelly rocks sitting there, and water's a bit deeper. So up there we were dealing with about 3 foot. Down here we got 6 foot. So what I'm envisioning is a lot of this section, as it drains, this is more of the hole everything will be sitting in. Now flathead tend to not really care for depth, right? They'll sit in anything. They'll sit in 1 foot all the way to like 30, 40 foot. But all of the bait is mainly congregating down here. Like you can see a lot of surface action, a lot of things getting hit. And I reckon that's the reason why I'm having a bit more success down here on the edge of this gravel. Because it's just, the system is just alive. There's just so much stuff here. It's a shame I have to stare directly into the sun, but the good thing about these cooler months is it doesn't really come into play too much. It's not so bad. Yeah. It's good, been a good little session. It's good just to sort of take out a lure and just work through it and just spend a bit of time. There's a hit. There we go. Oh, that took it on the sink. That felt like a good fish. That just went the dunk. Seeing if he wanted to come back, but he didn't. Would have been a good fish too. Prawn's still good too. Yeah, it's sort of hard to explain, but if you get sort of a nice light set up and you spend a bit of time, you can really start to feel the bites in the rod. If you're using the right sort of gear, that is. Like, this isn't stupidly over the top. This reel I paid $150 for. This rod was about $150 as well. So, you know, for $300, I've had this thing for years now. I used to do a lot of tournament fishing back in the day, and this was a setup I did use for bream on tournament. Now, bream and flathead aren't the same, but it's still, like, this will handle most fish up to like 60 centimeters easy. I've actually caught an 80 on this setup, and you just sort of follow them around. Now, I'm not expecting to catch an 80 here today, so, but all we're doing is just casting out, just straight up there into that section, and we're just giving it those little hops, letting it sink. Let it sit there for a bit, just give it a few more hops. It was wedged into a bit of rock, but that's all right. Let it sit there, and a couple of hops. Most of the time the flathead will hit it, oh, there's a hit, on the bottom. So when it's sitting there on the bottom is when you'll feel the hit. So just then, as soon as they hit the bottom, you feel like a soft thud. You'll feel like a second action. You'll feel it like that, and that's a hit. Now, something could be grabbing at the tail. You don't know what's what until you spend a lot more time sort of fishing to sort of figure out what everything feels like. But they very well, that could have been a bream. That other one felt like a flathead. Normally a flathead, once you're on, it's sort of that dead weight at the start. It's heavy weight, and they just sort of move around and then they just gun it. But they're a good fish to target. They're probably the most caught fish in Australia, I reckon. They'd have to be. Everyone catches flathead, like they are everywhere. And as you're seeing today, this is a good little setup. Like this little prawn works fine. Just going to drift back again because we've put a few casts into. Oh, there's a hit. There we go. This is probably the fish we lost just before. He's in that same section. Yeah, another nice little flathead. Because he's pretty much where I lost that other fish. So that head shaking is a very common thing they do. So you just want to be careful with them. But here you go. Another healthy sized flathead. Now this could have been the fish that I hooked and lost before. The reason I say that was it's the same region. As I sunk it back down, I just let it sit there and then I was like, I could tell it was a hit. So what they'll do is they'll grab it straight in their mouth and you'll feel that jolt in the line. And then you just sort of set it up and yeah, pin him right through the nose. So we'll put him in the live well once again. He's legal. Looking at him, he's going to be that 45 to 50 range. If we run into someone out here fishing who's struggling, I'll offer them the fish, say, hey, you know, got a couple of flatties, you want them? If not, we're going to tag these fish and let them go. I don't eat fish. It's one of those things, but yeah, let's get the big camera out, have a look at him and chuck him in the live well. Alright guys, there you go. So found only just pinned him too. Like, he's just thrown it around a few times, but yeah, he's 40, 47, 48 sort of range. If you're going to keep him, it's a really good size to be kept. Always difficult to get a photo of and anything like that, but yeah, he belted the prawn. Still good, still holding on. Get that out of his gob. And if you haven't seen him before, see that front, you can see that front tooth on him. That's what does all the damage to your leader, is those teeth. Like this big raspy thing, it just, yeah, it's pretty much your biggest problem to your leader with these fish, is that front mouth of theirs. Their mouth. So we'll chuck him in the live well with the others. And leader's still good, the prawn's still good. So there you go, you can see that damage I did to it before when I grabbed the stuff out. But overall, it's all pretty sweet. So what's unique about these that I think is pretty cool, like he's thought about this himself, he's done all the testing, is these little tiny legs here, right? So those little legs, as the water catches them, they kick. Each of them wave and kick. And that's pretty unique when you think about it, that of all the lures that were ever made that I'm aware of, that's the first time I've ever seen anyone do that. So that's really cool that, you know, he's thought about that. He's gone out, he spent a lot of time mucking around with them, and yeah, was able to make it. So I think they're made of plastisol. I've never asked him, like, yeah, I don't know, but sounds weird, but if you're as old as me or older, you should tell by the grey hairs, that there was a thing called a Mr. Twisty. This is going back years ago, like growing up, like the first plastic, so twin tail, little grubs, they were made of like a plastisol sort of setup and smelt exactly the same as this lure. So the first time I got it out and I took a sniff of it, it just took me back 30 odd years to when I was a young kid mucking around with lures. So yeah, really cool, really cool. Leader's still good. We're going to keep having a flick. We're about 10-15 minutes before the low tide, but you know, we've done what we've accomplished to do. We've caught some fish, we put it through the paces, had a look at it. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's certainly unique, but yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm really stoked with it. Like out here, wanted to catch flathead and bream. We've got the bream hits, we haven't converted them, but it's certainly got the flathead. And it's really unique, it's really cool. Like, I don't think anyone else would be throwing them around here at the moment. I mean, everyone else I'm seeing is bait fishing and they're not doing too good, but yeah, overall it's pretty cool. It does a good job, and yeah. So what we'll do is we'll keep fishing with it, and let's just see what else we can catch, if we can get anything else. Let's get back into it. So we just trimmed up that leader a bit. Good little spot here, eh? So there's all this action just between this houseboat, this crab pot, but it makes sense. Like I said, there's a heap of bait moving through here, there's little drains rolling through. It's a good little spot, but it's super windy just to tuck in and tuck out. That wind's just picking up a little bit. That tide's probably got another 30 minutes before we're done, and that's it. So, which is good. Like, you know, we came out today to test out the Hulk prawn and see how they go, and hey, they're performing. Like, a lot of people use them, a lot of people have success, but it's all about, you know, until you use it yourself and you get confidence in a lure, you never really know, like, how they go. So just try to see, can we pick up another flathead out of here? We've landed 4. 3 of them have been legal. We got 2 45 to 48s, I think they were, and that 55. We've lost a couple more, a couple of good good sized fish that felt good. Alright guys, that's going to do us. So we're just going to get those fish out of the live well. We're just going to let them go here. So I'm going to tag them. Something I do is I like to tag my fish. Those of you who've watched for a long time would be aware of it. I put a little tiny yellow bit of plastic in them with all the details. If you're lucky enough to catch and report one, you'll get a little bit of information like when I caught it, where I've released it, the size it was, and stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll get them out of live well. We'll tag all of them. We're just going to let them go here. So let's get them. There's number 2. Number 3, the big one. So give her, off they go.